नारायण स्तोत्रम् श्री गणेशाय नमः। नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरे। नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरे। नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरे। नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरे। करुणा पार वार वरुणालय गंभीर नारायण। घन निरद संकाश कृत कलि कल्मष नाश नारायण। यमुना तिर विहार धृत कौस्तुभ मणिहार नारायण। पीतांबर परिधान सुर कल्याण निधान नारायण। मंजुल गुंजाभूष माया मानुष वेश नारायण। राधाधर मधुरसिक रजनीकर कुल तिलक नारायण। मुरली गान विनोद वेद स्तुत भूपाद नारायण बर्हिनि बर्हा पीड नट नाटक फनि क्रीड नारायण बारिज भूषाभरण राजीव रुक्मिणी रमण नारायण जलरुह दल निभनेत्र जगदारंभक सूत्र नारायण पातक रजनी संहर करुणालय मामुत्तर नारायण अगभक्षय कंसार केशव कृष्ण मुरारे नारायण आटक निभ पीतांबर अभयम गुरु मे मावर नारायण दशरथ राजकुमार दानव मद संहार नारायण गोवर्धन गिरि रमण गोपी मानस हरण नारायण शरयू तिर विहार सजन ऋषि मंदार नारायण विश्वामित्र मखत विविध परासुचरित्र नारायण ध्वज वज्रांग कुशपाद धरणी सुत सह मोद नारायण जनक सुता प्रतिपाल जय जय संस्कृति लील नारायण दशरथ वाग्दति भार दंडक वन संचार नारायण मुष्टिक चाणूर संहार मुनि मानस विहार नारायण बाली विनिग्रह शौर्यवर सुग्रीवर हितार्य नारायण मां मुरलीकर धीवर पालय पालय श्रीधर नारायण जलनिधि बंध नधीर रावण कंठ विदार नारायण ताति मद दल नाट्य नट गुण विविध धनाट्य नारायण गौतम पत्नी पूजन करुणा गणा वलोचन नारायण संभ्रम सीताहार साकेत पुर विहार नारायण अचलो दिति चंचत कर भक्तानुग्रह तत्पर नारायण नैगमगान विनोद रक्षः सुत प्रहलाद नारायण भारतीय तिवर शंकर नामामृतमखिलांतर नारायण इति श्रीमद् शंकराचार्य विरचितं नारायण स्तोत्रम संपूर्णम्। ओम नमो नारायणाय 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 ओम नमो नारायणाय 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 नारायण। ओम नमो नारायणाय। बोले श्री नारायण भगवान की जय। Victory to Sri Narayan. Hello everybody, humble greetings, humble pranams, and special welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for joining with me today in day 72, session 72 of our 100-day Srimad Bhagavad Gita challenge, where we know it is the aim to recite the entire Srimad Bhagavad Gita over the span of 100 days, 7 shlokas each day. Today in our opening, we joined in offering this beautiful Narayana Stotra as composed by Sri Shankaracharya. We now join in our meditative stanzas as dedicated to Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Hari Om, Hari Om. Shri Ganeshaya Namah. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namah. Om Shri Guru Charan Kamalabhyo Namah. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaita Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadainim Ammatvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadvaishinim Namostu Devyasa Vishal Buddhe Ullarvinda Yatra Patnetra Yena Tvaya Bharat Daila Purna Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipa Prapanna Parijataya Totravedrega Paniya Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Gita Amrita Duhe Namah. Sarvopnishido Gavo Sarvopnishido Gavo Dugdha Gopal Nandana Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gita Amritam Mahat Vasudeva Sudam Devam Kausachanurvardhanam Devaki Varmanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Bhishma Drona Tata Jayatata Jalagandharani Lotpala Shalyagrahavadi Kripena Vahanena Karnena Velakula Ashwathama Vikarna Goramakara Duryodhana Vartini Sotirna Kalupanda Vedana Nadi Devartaka Kesava Parasharavacha Saroja Amalam Hitartha Gandhot Katham Nanakhyana Gagesaram Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhadam Loge Sajjana Shatpadaira Hara Pediyamana Muda Bhuyad Bharata Pankajam Kalimal Padam Shridasreyase Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marudam Sunavanti Divyaistavai Vedai Sangha Padakramopanishadai Garyantiyam Samaga Dhyana Vastita Tadgadena Manasa Vashantiyam Yogino Yasyantam Navidu Sura Surgana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Gita Mata Ki Jai. Victory to Mother Bhagavad Gita. We join in offering this beautiful hymn, offering salutation to Mother Gita. जय भगवद गीते माते, जय भगवद गीते माते, जय जय गीते, जय व्यास जाते, जय जय गीते, जय व्यास जाते, जय जय इह पर कल्याण दाते, जय भगवद गीते माते। तत्व ज्ञाने शांति निधान, शांति निधान, भव भय हारिणी, सर्व गुण गण, सर्व गुण गण, जय भगवद गीते माते, मुक्ति दायिनी, शक्ति गारिणी, शक्ति गारिणी, भक्ति प्रचोदिनी, जननी 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 जननी, जय भगवद गीते माते। जीवार्जुन मोह किल विषहारिणी, किल विषहारिणी, देवकी तनय श्री कृष्ण चिंतामणि, कृष्ण चिंतामणि, जय भगवद गीते माते। आशा मोहा स्वार्थ समारिणी, स्वार्थ समारिणी, दास के शवनोत हृदय विहारिणी, हृदय विहारिणी, जय भगवद गीते माते। भगवद गीते भगवद गीते, गीते माते, गीते माते, हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम। गीता माता की जय। Victory to Mother Bhagavad Gita. In our previous session there, friends, we stopped off at verse number 12 of chapter 13 of Srimad Bhagvad Gita, and today we continue our discussion from verse number 13 of chapter number 13, which is entitled as Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, that part where the yoga of discrimination of the kshetra or the field and the kshetrajna, its knower, this is discussed. So we continue as Sri Krishna in this chapter, changing the complexion of the discussion that is ensuing between both of them. He is giving all of these immense amounts of information on how one can go about telling the difference between the field representing this body and the know of the field, meaning that true indweller within us, that supreme, that is present as that divine spark within us. How do we decipher, how do we tell the difference? This chapter here speaks on that. That divine Sri Krishna continues here as this part of our discussion for today's session unfolds. Paramatmane Namah. Shri Paramatmane Namah. Shri Bhagavan Vach. Shri Bhagavan is saying, Sarvatah Panipadam Tat Sarvato Akshishiro Mukham Sarvatah Shrutimaloke Sarvamavritya Tishtati. Sarvatah Panipadam Tat Sarvato Akshishiro Mukham Sarvatah Shrutimaloke Sarvamavritya Tishtati. It has hands and feet on all sides, eyes, head and mouth in all directions, and airs all round, for it stands pervading all in the universe. That divine master now explains the knowable, with hands and feet everywhere. Life pulsates everywhere. This implies, it shows, the omnipotence, the all-pervading nature of that Supreme. Quite often, we describe that Supreme as omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent. Yet, in recognizing or using these adjectives to describe that Supreme, we still place restrictions on that Supreme in saying he cannot do this or he cannot do that. That being who is omnipotent, who can do anything, has no limitations. That being who is omniscient, who knows everything, who is omnipresent, who is present in everything. We cannot place any restrictions on him. Nothing is outside of this Ishvara. This one Supreme puts on the role as the innumerable. Sri Krishna continues. Sarvendriya guna bhasam Sarvendriya vivarjitam Asaktam sarva bhritchaiva Nirgunam guna bhoktacha. Sarvendriya guna bhasam Sarvendriya vivarjitam Asaktam sarva bhritchaiva Nirgunam guna bhoktacha. Though perceiving all sense objects, it is really speaking devoid of all senses. Though unattached, it is the sustainer of all nonetheless. And though attributeless, it is the enjoyer of gunas, the three modes of Prakriti. This Chaitanya, which really means consciousness, lights up the senses. This Brahman, he is Chidakash, the substratum. The gunas, they are not in that Brahman. The Brahman merely helps the gunas manifest, much like we have the screen in that movie theatre upon which movies are projected with multicolors. At that time, the screen appears to have those colors, but in truth and in fact, it never changed. These gunas, which are the material modes which we have spoken of at great length, Sat, Raj, Tam, that Supreme is Nirguna, meaning without these gunas. So he is free from this material covering and not contaminated by this material energy, seeming to possess the functions of all senses, yet devoid of all senses. Much like we look at a bulb which we think manifests electricity. Devoid of electricity, that bulb never lights. And that bulb, through that electricity, shows a certain nature. Electricity by itself has the ability to light not only that bulb, but any other appliance which is driven by electrical power. So that electricity merely manifests itself in this form as this bulb. And the electricity appears to take on the color of that bulb. But in truth and in fact, it is far beyond that. That Supreme is detached, yet upholds all. The world of plurality is not consciousness, yet consciousness supports it. without gunas, yet enjoying all gunas. The gunas really are influences which govern the mind, and yet they are the objects of realization or perception for the conscious self. Consciousness conditioned by the mind is ego. That consciousness which is conditioned by this mind is what we call as Jeev. And thus in his capacity as Jeevatma, he becomes the experiencer or the bhoktra of the gunas of these different modalities. Unconditioned by the mind, in its own nature, it is really the absolute. It is like that electricity, free from any appliance, it just runs in its own nature. And when it powers that appliance, it takes on the appearance of that bulb, or it takes on the appearance of that appliance which is powered by it temporarily. Sri Krishna continues. Bahirantascha bhutanam acharam charameva cha sukshmatvat taddavigyeyam durastham chantike cha tat. Bahirantascha bhutanam acharam charameva cha sukshmatvat tadvigyeyam durastham chantike cha tat. Bahirantascha bhutanam acharam charameva cha sukshmatvat tadvigyeyam durastham chantike cha tat. Bahirantascha bhutanam acharam charameva cha sukshmatvat tadvigyeyam durastham chantike cha tat. It exists without and within all beings and constitutes the moving and the unmoving creation as well. And by reason of its subtlety, it is incomprehensible. It is close at hand and stands afar too. There is no movement in this Paramatma's modifications of Prakriti. As Nirgun Brahm, he is all stillness, all pervasiveness. As Narayana, present near and far simultaneously, external and within all beings, moving and unmoving. The truth is motionless. There is no place where it can move, since it is all. Incomprehensible subtlety. The grosser the thing, the more perceptible it is. Consciousness, however, is the subtlest of the subtle, pervading even Akash. It is incomprehensible to the gross equipments of thought, feeling and perception. It is far and near at the same time. It is difficult for this mind or perception to really conceptualize something that has these attributes. Hence it is described as incomprehensible. Sri Krishna continues further to say, Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktam ivam cha sthitam bhuta bhartra cha tajgeyam krashishnu prabhavishnu cha. Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktam ivam cha sthitam bhuta bhartra cha tajgeyam krashishnu prabhavishnu cha. Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktam iva cha sthitam bhuta bhartra cha tajgeyam krashishnu prabhavishnu cha. Though integral like space in its undivided aspect, it appears divided, as it were, in all animate and inanimate beings. And that Godhead, which is the only worth knowing, the only object worth knowing, is the sustainer of beings as Vishnu, the destroyer as Rudra, and the creator of all as Brahma. That Supreme is all-pervading and individualizes himself as special manifestations only at points where equipments are available. Truth is that solid, omnipotent substratum upon which is projected the world of plurality by the deluded mind and intellect. And when the mind and intellect are transcended, the vision of samsara gets devoured in the very experience of the tranquil. Just as on waking, the dream merges into the essence of the waker's mind, so too when one gets into that state of consciousness, one really gets to that true state of realization. Sri Krishna continues. Jyotishamapi tajyotis tamasa paramuchyate jnanam gyeyam jnanagamyam hridi sarvasya vishthitam. Jyotishamapi tajyotis tamasa paramuchyate jnanam gyeyam jnanagamyam hridi sarvasya vishthitam. That Supreme Brahma is said to be the light of all lights and entirely beyond Maya. That Godhead is knowledge itself, worth knowing and worth attaining through real wisdom, and is particularly abiding in the hearts of all. This buddhi acquires its power of understanding from Atma, but can eventually lose that. The Atma, however, never loses its ability, its light, its brilliance. Darkness is no hindrance. Self-awareness is self-evident. And you recall, I am the light, I am the truth, I am the way. That true indweller within all of us is light, brilliance. It is that truth. It is that path that we all are aiming to get into. The senses perceive due to the light from this Atman, the light of wisdom by which we become aware of our own mental and intellectual conditions at any given moment in time, is called the light of the soul, the self, or consciousness. And we consider, when we say the prayer, Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya, it is really that humble prayer to take us from untruth to truth, from darkness to light, and from death to immortality. It is essentially getting to this state where one realizes that light within one's own self. That Atman is beyond the darkness. The spirit is Jnana, Gyeyam, and Jnanagamyam, meaning knowledge has to be known or ought to be known, and that which is to be reached. Dwelling in the heart of all is this Atman. This heart really is the area in the mental zone from where noble and pious thoughts spring forth. The heart is considered as the dwelling place of that self. Sri Krishna continues. Iti kshetram tatha jnanam gyeyam choktam samasatah madbhakta etad vigyaya madbhavayopapadyate. Iti kshetram tatha jnanam gyeyam choktam samasatah madbhakta etad vigyaya madbhavayopapadyate. Thus, the truth of the kshetra and the knowledge as well as of the object worth knowing, which is God, has been briefly discussed. Knowing this in reality, my devotee attains to my being. Thus is the declaration of Krishna. The field which is really constituted of the great elements up until the quality of fortitude, knowledge, which is the moral and ethical rules ordering our right relationship with the world, starting with humility and ending with the perception of the end of knowledge. The devotees of that Supreme alone are fit for this state. Beyond that state of knowledge, what this knowledge is aimed to bring in one's life. Devotion, which is what one is advised to cultivate in one's heart, is that intellectual appreciation of the truth through a correct discrimination between the field and the knower of the field. One who is able to recognize Vasudeva, who is the conscious vitalizing principle in all fields of matter envelopments, is the true devotee. That one who is fit for that state. Therefore, it is this jnana, or this knowledge, when one understands that God alone is revealing Himself as everything. This wisdom places him forever in the presence of that Ishvara. And this jnana, or this knowledge, is of the knower, the knowable, and the process of knowing. That really is described as Vijnana, the field of activity of the body. From the previous verses has been discussed, as well as the process of understanding, as well as the soul, that Jiva, as well as the Supreme. They have all been discussed so far. Therefore, if one refers to some of the previous sessions in our discussion on chapter 13, you would see from the verse which starts Mahabhutan and it ends Chetana Dhriti, is where we would have discussed the field of activity, that body. And then the process of understanding we discussed from Amanitvam to Tattva Jnanantha, and then discussing on the soul or that Jiva and the Supreme from Anadimat Paramam to Hridi Sarvasya Vishthitam. In covering all of these verses, these three areas of discussion would have been touched. Sri Krishna, continuing further, says, Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidyanadi Yuvavapi Vikaramscha Gunamschaiva Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavan. Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidyanadi Yubhavapi Vikaramscha Gunamschaiva Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavan. Prakriti and Purush, know both these as beginningless, and know all modifications such as likes and dislikes, etc., and all objects constituted of the three gunas as born of Prakriti. This matter is really Prakriti and the spirit is Purush. Both are aspects of this Ishvara and they are beginningless. Previously, Sri Krishna described to Arjuna two terms, one known as the lower self and one called the higher self. And the recommendation was made that the lower self should be dominated by the higher self. This lower and higher self mentioned previously is really the same Prakriti and Purush, now called as field and the knower of the field. It is this interplay that projects creation, preservation and dissolution. Therefore, the play of matter and spirit is the cause of this samsara, and the substratum for both is the Supreme. Matter is that from which all forms and qualities come into existence. All changes and modifications come from here. It puts on the embodiment of time, space and causation, and it is constituted of Sat, Raj and Tam. It is also known as Maya or illusion. The Atman, however, which never changes, is beyond all of that. The body then is seen as the field of activity. It is material, thus it is changing, it is temporary, whereas the individual soul, or this Purush, is changeless and as such is eternal. With this here, friends, Sri Krishna, in attempting to distinguish between the body or the material aspects, the field, and the know of the field, or that indweller, continues to describe the various aspects here to Arjuna to make it clear, not only to him, but to all of humanity, on how one should lift that mind, what are the features one should look for to really decipher between the field and the know of its field. With this here, friends, it brings today's session to an end. Special blessings and thanks to all for joining. Continue to read Srimad Bhagavad Gita, continue to spread the teachings of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, continue to practice Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and let us help to bring about that much needed transformation. Again, thank you and Jai Shri Ram.